Good evening, students. Abhijit Chakraborty says class is back. So I hope that you are in good condition because now outside of the world, what is going on, you do about that and take care about it. So today we are going to learn CBSE Class 12 Indigo. Very important chapter by Louis Fisher, which is written by Louis Fisher. And from his own experience, especially it was written by Louis Fisher on the experience, what he has gathered, why he was coming to India, and why he was interacting with one of the greatest person that India has ever produced. And the greatest name of the greatest person is M.K. Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Before going to the chapter, I want to discuss and I want to tell you about Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi and the life of the Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. And what is the belief of the Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi? The belief of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi is non-violence, which we want and we require if we want that, yes, our world will be beautiful. We need and we require that non-violence in our life. And he has shown to the world what non-violence is all about it. So, Indigo is the first demonstration, first Satyagraha or demonstration. It is, M.K. Gandhi has termed this as Satyagraha, not only the demonstration, because the demonstration and the structure of the demonstration is on the basis of the truth. What is belief and the truth? He always holds truth. And that is the important point in Indigo. So we are going to the street, to the chapter of Indigo, and we are discussing about the chapter of Indigo. As you can see that Indigo, written by Louis Fisher, and I have told you about the Louis Fisher, what is Louis Fisher and who is Louis Fisher. And especially if we are going to the Louis Fisher was an American journalist, and among his works were contribution of its communist treatise, The Gods That Failed, The Life of Mahatma, and he was written The Life of Mahatma. So Louis Fisher is coming from America, and there is an acquaintance with M.K. Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, and he is written over that. What the observation, yes, he was with Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. On the basis of the observation, he has written this. So we are going to the street, to the book. Yes, when I visited Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram in central India, he said, I'll tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of the British. It was in 1917. So it was a time, when he first visited India, Gandhi in 1942, Gandhiji was reconciling or remembering those days in 1917. And it was the first time that we have seen the Satyagraha or demonstration of M.K. Gandhi. And he said that he had gone to the December 1916 annual convention of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. You know about the Indian National Congress Party and how M.K. Gandhi was attached with Indian National Congress Party. And Indian National Congress Party annual convention was held in Lucknow. And there was 2,301 delegates and many visitors were there. And during the proceeding, Gandhi recounted it. A peasant came up to me looking like any other peasant in India, poor and emancipated, and said, I'm Rajkumar Shukla and I'm from Champaran and I want you to come to my district. So he was talking about Rajkumar Shukla. And who was Rajkumar Shukla? Rajkumar Shukla is a peasant, and not only he was a peasant, he was coming from Champaran, and he wanted that Gandhi should visit over there in Champaran. And Gandhi had never heard of the place. And it was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas near the kingdom of Nepal. Where the Champaran was, it was just adjacent to the Nepal, in the foothills of the Himalaya region. So he urged that Gandhi should visit over there. What was the urgency over there? There should be an urgency. That is why he came to the place from a long way, from the border of the Nepal to Lucknow. So under an ancient arrangement, the Champaran peasants were sharecroppers. Sharecroppers. Who were sharecroppers? Who were sharing the crops. Who are sharing the crops. They don't have their own land, so that is why they are sharing the crops. From the ancient arrangement, the Champaran peasants, they are sharing the crops. Rajkumar Shukla was one of them. He was illiterate but resilient. Yes, he was illiterate, but resolution is there. He knows that how to move and where to move and whom to ask for the help. He had come to the Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar. And somebody had probably said, speak to Gandhi. So it was a landlord system. What is a landlord system? It persists in West Bengal also and in other parts of India also. Almost after our independence also, we have seen the landlord system. Landlord system means that landlord, they are holding the lands, not only one big hunter, but they are holding the acres and acres of lands. And the sharecroppers are there, and they are engaging the sharecroppers. And after the crops was cultivated, they have taken hold the most of the crops. So there is a problem in landlord system, and we have seen the landlord system in Bihar. We have seen the landlord system in UP also, Rajasthan also, and West Bengal also, and other parts of India also. But now, almost landlord system, we have not seen such kind of a landlord system now. So somebody had provoked this way. Speak to Gandhi. So somebody said, yes, you need to speak to Gandhi over there. Gandhi told Shukla he had an appointment in Kanpur and had also was committed to go to other parts of India. Kanpur, that is in Kanpur. So he has told Shukla, yes, he has other appointments, so he has to go to Kanpur. Shukla accompanied him everywhere. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram to Ahmedabad. Shukla followed him to the ashram. For weeks, he never left Gandhi's side. So Shukla knows about what was the problem the Champaran, the people of the Champaran, the sharecroppers of the Champaran, they are facing the problem. What are the problems they are facing? So after that, Gandhi returned from Kanpur to Ahmedabad and he urged, he begged, please fix it. Impressed by the sharecropper's tenacity and story, Gandhi said, I have to be in Calcutta on such and such date. Come and meet me and take me from there. So he knows that Shukla will be following him, and so he's asking Shukla that why you are staying in Calcutta, so you should take me. Months passed. Shukla was sitting on his haunches at the appointed spot in Calcutta when Gandhi arrived. Gandhi, at that point of time, Gandhi was a busy man. Gandhi just returned from South Africa, and we have seen that how popular leader Gandhi has been, and everyone, every areas, they are asking for the Gandhi to come to their own land. So Gandhi has become one of the busiest leader at that point of time. So, but Shukla, he was waiting for Gandhi, and he waited till Gandhi was free. Then the two of them boarded a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. There Shukla led him to the house of a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad. We know about the Rajendra Prasad. Who is the Rajendra Prasad? He later became the president of Congress Party of India, and Rajendra Prasad became the first president of independent India. Rajendra Prasad was a lawyer, and this was the first time that Rajendra Prasad there was income or there is a what I say that the first time they met, and Rajendra Prasad and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. So Rajendra Prasad was out of town, but the servants knew Shukla as a poor yeoman who pestered their master to help the Indigo sharecropper. So the master, I mean Rajendra Prasad was out, but the servants knows Shukla, and he knows that how Shukla was associating with those sharecroppers, how they are fighting for their justice. So they let him stay on the grounds with his companion Gandhi, whom they took to be another patient. And the most important thing here you can see that another important factor is there. So they let him stay on the ground with his companion Gandhi, whom they took to be another peasant. So from the attire of the Gandhi, we have thought that Gandhi was another peasant. They did not think that Gandhi, who is Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was there and thought, did not think about that. They thought that Gandhi is one of the peasants. But Gandhi was not permitted to draw water from the well, laced some drops from his bucket by entire source. How did they know that he was not an untouchable? So this, I mean, Gandhi has fought his life for the untouchabilities. So he has seen the untouchability in the area of Bihar, in the area of where Rajendra Prasad's house, and the servants, they have not given the permission to draw the water from their well, and they thought that Gandhi was a peasant and Gandhi was an untouchable person. So Gandhi decided to go first to Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran, to obtain more complete information about conditions than Shukla was capable of imparting. So now Gandhi is thinking about that, why he is talking to Rajendra Prasad, why he is talking to Shukla. Instead of that, he should go over there and he should try to obtain information, more information about the life, because he thought that if he does not go, if he did not go or did not reach to the place, how he can impart the information. So, I mean, interest has been growing. What has happened? He accordingly sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kripalani of the Arts College in Muzaffarpur, who had seen a Tagore's Shantiniketan school. So he's written or was sent one telegram to J.B. Kripalani, and who was in Muzaffarpur, and they have first met in Tagore Shantiniketan school. The train arrived at midnight, 15th April 1917. Kripalani was waiting at the station with a large body of students. So many students are there. They have gathered with Kripalani. They want to see Gandhiji. Gandhiji stayed there for 2 days in the home of Professor Malkan, a teacher in a government school. It was an extraordinary thing in those days, Gandhi commented, for a government professor to harbor a man like me. So he was a government officer. Government officer means that they belong to, or they are giving the service to the British people. And Gandhiji, who was fighting against the British. So it was an extraordinary thing that, like me, they have given, or they have like me to harbor a man like me. In smaller localities, the Indians were afraid to show sympathy for advocates of home rule. So no one giving, I mean, they are very afraid of that. Why they are very afraid of that? Because they are afraid because of one thing. They are afraid of because of one thing, that yes, if they have given uh, the shelter to Gandhiji, what will happen? Because they are serving to those people to whom they are serving. They are serving the people of the British. What will happen then? So sharecroppers, the news of Gandhi's advent, the news of the Gandhi came, and the nature of his mission spread quickly throughout Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot by convenience to see their champion. So those people, those who are working for the British, they are not accepting Gandhiji. But instead of that, when Gandhiji's arrival was spreading in Champaran, more people, more peasants were coming, and they know that their survivor, or I mean, they know that at last Gandhiji came. Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhiji to brief him. They frequently represented peasant groups in court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of their case. So Muzaffarpur lawyers were there, and they briefed Gandhiji regarding those cases. And they know, and they also send the message, yes, they are getting the fees in the, in return for their advocacy. Gandhiji chided the lawyer for collecting big fee from the sharecroppers. Gandhiji, he was also an advocate. And he was, I mean, he was he was telling, and he was remarked that why you are taking the money from big money, what big fees from those peasants, how they can give you. He said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to law courts. Taking such cases to the courts does little good. But the peasants are so fast and fear stricken, law courts are useless. The real relief for them is to be free from fear. So now Gandhiji came to the conclusion. Now Gandhiji realized that yes, we should come to the conclusion why you are going to the courts. Because bids will be coming, and those advocates, they are making the money in expense of the life of those sharecroppers. So no, we don't want to go to the court, but we need to, we need to be free from fear. We should know about what is the fear. Most of the arable land in the Champaran districts was divided into large estates owned by Englishmen and worked by Indian tenants. The chief commercial crop was indigo. It was the chief commercial crops. At that point of time, it was the chief commercial crop, indigo. The landlords compelled all tenants to plant 3/20 or 15% of their holding with indigo and surrendered the entire indigo harvest as well. This was done by a long-term contract, and it was done by the landowners. It was done by the landowners. Landowners has given all the money or all the contract. They have given all the contract to the British. They can cultivate the indigo, and sharecroppers were compelled to cultivate only indigo. That was the only thing that they can cultivate or they can harvest. Presently, the land lords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. Now, it was long contact, and previously it was the contact, and at that point of time, indigo, the cultivation of the indigo was a very profitable thing because after the cultivation of indigo, everything or every indigo has been circulated to other parts of this world. But since then, Germany had developed synthetic indigo. Then thereupon obtained agreement from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from the 15% arrangement. So now they are not getting the money in expense of indigo. So when the sharecroppers want to go there and want to, there should be an agreement from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation. Yes, we can release you. I can release you. Yes, now Indigo is not a very big business. Now I can release you if you are returning the 15% arrangement or the money as a compensation. I can release you. The sharecropping arrangement was irksome to the peasants, and many signed willingly. Those who resisted engaged lawyers. The landlords hired thugs. Meanwhile, the information about synthetic indigo reached the illiterate peasants who had signed. They wanted their money back. Now, at that point of time, when, yes, at one point of time, indigo was a very great business. But as the synthetic indigo, the news of the synthetic indigo came to their mind. So when they thought about that, and who has signed over theirs, yes, 15% land, yes, you can use the 15% land. Those who have signed, they thought about that and they wanted their money back. At this point, Gandhiji arrived in Jammu. So in these two paragraphs, if you go to the two paragraphs, this is the paragraph that what why what is the problem they are facing? They are facing the problem regarding their agreement with the sharecroppers and the British people. And here, what has happened with them? Why they want to, or why they want to come back from the 15% agreement? Why they don't want to pursue with that 15% agreement? Because indigo farming was not at all at that point of time was not at all profitable which was used to it. So at this point, Gandhiji arrived in Champaran. He began by trying to get the facts. First, he visited the secretary of the British Landlords Association. The secretary told him that they could give no information to an outsider. Gandhiji answered that he was no outsider. So first of all, he knows that where to go. So that is why he go to the secretary and he wants to get the information. While he was getting the information, the secretary answered, "Yes, you are outsider. You are not living in the Champaran area. Why could I give the information to you? You are the outsider." But Gandhiji said, "Why I am an outsider? I am an Indian." Next, Gandhiji called on British official commissioner of the Tirhut division in which the Champaran district lay. The commissioner, Gandhi reports, proceeded to bully me and advised me to try to leave Tirhut. So, first of all, first of all, they try to bully Gandhiji. They try that Gandhiji should leave over there and Gandhiji should not demonstrate for them. But this is the resolution of Gandhiji. That is why Gandhiji is one of the greatest leaders of all time. Gandhiji did not do it. Instead, he proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. Several lawyers accompanied him. At the railway station, a vast multitude greeted Gandhi. So Gandhiji is the first person if you know how to go and how to demonstrate with the local people, how to demonstrate against the British with the local people. So he is accumulating all the people, and he and not only accumulating all the people, he took those people. He went to a house and using it as headquarters, continues his investigation. So investigation goes on. So why investigation went? Because he tried to gather the information, more information. Where the host hide themselves. A report came in that a prison had been maltreated in a nearby village. Gandhi decided to go and see. So report came that one day that yes, a prison has been maltreated. He has not been treated very well in the nearby village. So Gandhi decided to go and see. The next morning he started out on the back of an elephant. He had not proceeded far when the police superintendent's messenger overtook him and ordered him to return to town. So he had not proceeded far, where the police superintendent was there and messenger was there. Not police superintendent was not there, but the messenger was there, and he ordered to return to the town. You should return to the town. Why you are going to town? Gandhi complied. Okay. The messenger drove Gandhi home, where he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. That Gandhiji, who knows that yes, only the non-violence, the use of the non-violence will be the only resource that can prevent the violence against the people. So, why he was thinking about that? He was thinking that yes, whenever the messenger came and messenger ordered him to don't go over that place, he complied. He said, "Okay, I'll not go." And what is did? Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice, and the receipt was ordered. The order was there that yes, you should leave Champaran. You should quit Champaran immediately. Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice, wrote on it that he would disobey the order. So he has written over here, okay, the order is there, I am disobeying the order. In consequence, Gandhiji received a summon to appear in court the next day. Gandhi knows that yes, he should receive a summon, and he wanted, because before that he has been termed as the outsider. Now he is receiving the summon. That means he has become the insider. All night Gandhi began away. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with influential friends. He sent instruction to the ashram. He wired a full report to the viceroy. Morning found the town of Motihari black with patients. So at the time of the morning, Motihari patients were there. They did not know Gandhiji's reform in South Africa. They don't know about the Gandhiji, what Gandhiji had done in South Africa. They know that yes, Gandhi has come for their rescue. They had merely heard that a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble with the authority. They knew that they've heard that Mahatma was there, Mahatma Gandhi was there. Who has given the name of Mahatma? Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore awarded the name Mahatma to Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, and everybody was worried that yes, Gandhiji was in trouble with the authority, so they have to go over there. Their spontaneous demonstration in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from the fear of the British. Now their demonstration, the spontaneous demonstration started. The spontaneous demonstration started, not only the spontaneous demonstration started, but everybody was agile and everybody was saying that voice, let's face the ire of the British. The official felt powerless without Gandhi's cooperation. Now, a huge number of people gathered over there. Now, officials feel that yes, they are powerless. So many people are there. If Gandhi will not cooperate with them, how they can, how they can control the mass? He helped them regulate the crowds. He was polite and friendly. He was giving them concrete proof that their might, hitherto dreaded and unquestioned, could be challenged by Indians. The government was baffled. The prosecutor requested the judge to postpone the trial. Now he helped them, yes, he has helped them to regulate the crowd. So he is helping the law. He was polite and friendly. He was giving the concrete proof that their might or hitherto deeded and unquestioned. So he has given the concrete proof why they have gathered over there and what was the cause of their demonstration. The government was baffled. The prosecutor requested the judge to postpone the trial. Apparently, the authorities wished to consult their superiors. Gandhiji protested against the deal. He read a statement pleading guilty. He was involved. He told the courts in a conflict duties, on one hand, not to send a bad example as a lawbreaker, on the other hand, to render the humanitarian national service for which he had come. That means conflicting duties of their views, abiding the law. He is not a lawbreaker, but he asks the people, he asks the authority to be humanitarian and national service, not for one for a respect for a lawful authority, but in obedience to the higher law of our being the voice of the conscious. So he is asking that it is not only the law, it is the voice of the consciousness, your conscience, your consciousness. That is, you should know about that. You should hear the voice of the conscience. The magistrate announced that he would pronounce sentence after 2 hours arrests and asked Gandhi to furnish bail for those 120 minutes. Gandhi refused. The judge released him without bail. So they want to give the bail for 2 hours. Gandhi refused. But in spite of that, the judge released him without bail. When the court convened, the judge said he would not deliver the judgment for several days. Meanwhile, he allowed Gandhiji to remain at liberty. So they don't want to control or take control of Gandhiji. Instead of that, they told, okay. Uh, Instead of that, they told, okay, you can leave. You can be free. You are free now. Can you go? If you want to go, you can go over here. You can go anywhere. Rajendra Prasad, Rich Kishore Babu, Maulana Mazharul Haq, several other prominent lawyers had arrived from Bihar. They conferred with Gandhi what did they do if he was sentenced to prison. Gandhi asked. Why the senior lawyer replied, they had come to advise and help him. If he went to jail, there would be nobody to advise and they would go home. So everyone was worried that what would happen if the verdict will be against Gandhiji and if the Gandhiji will be in jail. So what would happen? What will be the demonstration? How they can proceed? Who will give the advice? What about the injustice to the sharecroppers? Gandhiji demanded. Gandhiji said it is not for him, it is for those prison, for those people. So if I will be afraid of myself to going to the jail, what would happen to those prisons? So instead of that, he said, okay, don't make out that yes, the lawyers will due to consult. Rajendra Prasad has recorded the offshoot of their consultations. They thought amongst themselves that Gandhi was totally a stranger, yet he was prepared to go to prison for the sake of the prisons. If they, on the other hand, being not only residents of the adjoining district, but also those who claim to have served these prisons should go home to the shameful desertion. So they are requesting to the peasants that yes, you should come, or you should come with Gandhiji, you should be with the Gandhiji, because if Gandhiji would have been go to the jail because of you, to serve you, so now you should not go, or you should not go for the desertion. They accordingly went back to Gandhi and told him they were ready to follow him. So everybody came over there, and everybody realized that if Gandhi would go to the jail, what would happen to the demonstration? So they came, all the peasants came, and they told, yes, if Gandhi would go to the prison, they will follow. The Battle of Champaran is going 15. So Gandhi, this is the place, and this is the time that Champaran, or the winning position. What is the winning position? It is not the winning position, the winning the heart of the people. The winning position means one thing. The battle of the Champaran is won. So the people from their inside their mind, inside their heart, they realize what is truth and what is wrong. They took a piece of paper and divided the group into pairs and put down the order in which each pair was to put arrest. Several days later, Gandhi received Gandhi received a written Gandhi received a written communication from the magistrate informing that the lieutenant governor of the province had ordered the ease to be dropped. Civil disobedience had triumphed. This is the first time that it was happened. The civil disobedience. No violence was there because everyone was thinking that violence protest would be there. But Gandhiji did not believe in the violence. He knew that civil disobedience moment that should be trumped. And here we can see that civil disobedience had triumphed the first time in modern India. Gandhi and the lawyers now proceeded to conduct a far-flung inquiry into the grievances of the farmers. Now they are going to the inquiry about the grievances of the farmers. What was the problem about the farmers? Why they are, facing these problems? They are going to the detail of the farmers. And deposition of about 10,000 prisons were written down. 10,000 prisons and notes made on the evidence. Evidence was there. Without evidence, he has not deposited anything. Documents were collected. The whole area throbbed with the activity of the investigators and the vehement protest of the landlords. So landlords came into the case because they have sold they have done their agreements. The protest was there even of the landlords against Gandhiji or the investigation. But Gandhiji knows that yes, it is not all about those landlords, it is all about the peasants. So in June, Gandhi was summoned to serve. It was the lieutenant governor. Before he went, he made leading associates and again laid detailed plans of civil disobedience if he should not return. So he was planning over there. So what would happen if lieutenant governor would agree with all the proposal which Gandhiji was going to stable. But if the planning will be failed, if they will not accept those, what would happen after that? There, Gandhiji has made the plan. Gandhiji had 4 protracted interviews with the lieutenant governor, who, as a result, appointed an official commission of inquiry into the Indigo share situation. The commission consisted of landlords, government officials, and the Gandhi as the sole representative of the peasants. So commissioners were there and consisted with landlords, representing the landlords. But one thing represented by Gandhi that was that he was representing, and only one he was representing those peasants. Gandhiji remained in Champaran for an initial uninterrupted period of 7 months and then again for several shorter visits. So he was over there and he was stuck with the situation because he is the representative of the thousands of peasants. The visit, the undertaken casually on the entry of an unlettered peasant in the expectation that it would last a few days, occupied almost a year of Gandhi's life. The official inquiry assembled, a crushing mountains of evidence against those wheat planters. When they saw this, they agreed in principle to make refunds to the peasants. But how much must we pay? They asked Gandhi. So they agreed that they should return all the money. But how much money they can give you? They can give. How much money they can give? So they are asking Gandhiji. They thought he would demand repayment in full of the money which they had illegally and deceitfully extorted from the sharecroppers. He asked only 50%. So they thought that the Gandhiji wanted to repay all the 100% money that they illegally, deceitfully extorted from the sharecroppers. They have collected those monies. But Gandhi asked only 50%. There he sent adamant writes, Reverend J.H. Hodge, a British missionary in Champaran, observed the entire episode at close range, thinking probably that he would not give way. The representatives of the planters offered to refund to the extent of 25%, and to his amazement, Mr. Gandhi took him at his word, thus breaking the deadlock. The settlement was adopted unanimously by the commission. So, whenever Gandhi was not asking for more than a 15%, at one point of time, agreement was there and the settlement was there, unanimously settlement was there. Gandhiji explained that the amount of the refund was less important than the fact that the landlords had been obliged to surrender part of the money and with it part of their prestige. So landlords should pay the money, surrender the money, and part of their prestige. That means that obligation should be there. The sharecroppers, they are the part of the land, not only the landowners. Therefore, as far as the peasants were concerned, the planters had behaved as lords above the law. Now peasants saw that he had rights and defenders. He learned courage. Even justifies Gandhi's position. Within few years, the British planters abandoned their state, which reverted to the plan. Visions, Indigo sharecropping disappeared, and within at the advent of German Indigo, in few years, we have seen the British planters abandoned the land and they have gone, and the indigo sharecropping disappeared. But the most important part here that yes, demonstration has been started because why the demonstration was started because we have seen the indigo sharecroppers. Indigo sharecroppers, they have been deprived by the British planters, they have been deprived by the landowners. Gandhi never contented himself with a large political or economic solution. He saw the cultural and social background in the Champaran village and wanted to do something about it immediately. So not only Gandhiji solved their problem, but Gandhiji wanted to do something about it immediately. What is the need of those people? Why? Because they are illiterate. Why? They have been deprived. Why? They have been deceived. He appealed for teachers, Mahadev Desai and Narahari Pai, two young men who had just joined Gandhi as disciples, and their wives volunteered for their work. Several more came from Bombay, Pune, and distant parts of the land. Devdas, Gandhi's youngest son, arrived from the ashram, so did Mrs. Gandhi. Primary schools were opened in six villages. Kusturibai taught the ashram rules on the personal cleanliness and community sanitation. So Gandhiji has seen what was the problem. Gandhi has seen what was the problem. Gandhi has seen the problem is not only it is not about it is about the illiteracy. That is why they are facing the problem. So Gandhi wants the education. If the education would grow, if they can provide the education, good education, the facility of the good education, then everything will be changed. So they will not be deceived by others. So health conditions were miserable. Gandhi got a doctor to volunteer his service for 6 months. Free medicines were available: castor oil, quinine, and sulfur ointment. Anybody who showed a coated tongue was given a dose of castor oil. Anybody with malaria fever received a quinine plus castor oil. Anybody with skin eruptions received ointment plus castor oil. So he was giving the importance to the personal hygiene. So this is all about what the people wanted. The people wanted a good environment. So that has not been provided by the government. So that has been provided by Gandhiji. For his own turn, Gandhi noticed the filthy state of women's clothes. He asked Kosturibai to talk to them about it. One woman took Kosturibai into her heart and said, "Look, there is no box or cupboard here for clothes. The sari I am wearing is the only one I have." So this is the situation of those people. This is the situation because they are peasants, they are poor, and they did not have the money to buy the sari. Only one sari was there in the cover, or no cover was there, no box was there. During his long stay in Champaran, Gandhi kept a long distance watch on the ashram. He sent regular instruction by mail, asked for financial accounts. Once he wrote to the residents that it was time to fill the old latrine trenches and dig new ones, otherwise the old ones would begin to smell bad. That means he is taking care of everything. He knows everything, he is taking care of everything. And he knows that the hygienic conditions, they are not in good position. The Champaran episode was a turning point in Gandhi's life. Absolutely, it was the first time that the demonstration of Gandhi we have seen, the people's demonstration of the country. What I did, he explained, was very ordinary thing. I declared that the British could not order me about in my own country. But Champaran did not begin as an act of defiance. It grew out of an attempt to alleviate the distress of large numbers of poor peasants. This was the typical Gandhi pattern. It was the typical Gandhi pattern. What is the typical Gandhi pattern? Gandhi did not begin as an act of defiance. It grew of an attempt to alleviate the distress of a large number of people. So Gandhi thought that to alleviate the distress of the large people, you should work with the poor peasants. And this was the typical Gandhi because when a demonstration was there, after a demonstration has been on, so everybody, everybody are not giving the importance to those places. But no, Gandhi thought it is not Gandhi-like attitude. So this was the typical Gandhi pattern. His politics were intertwined with the practicals, day-to-day problems of the millions. So day-to-day problems will be coming. He knows that day-to-day problems will be coming. So with the day-to-day problem, he wants to, wants to solve those problems. He wants to solve those problems. In everything, Gandhi did, moreover, he tried to mold a new free India who could stand on his own feet and thus make India free. Early in the Champaran action, Charles Freer Andrews, the English pacifist who had become a devoted follower of Mahatma, came to bid Gandhi farewell before going on a tour of duty to the Fiji Island. Gandhi's lawyers' friends thought it would be a good idea of the Andrews to stay in Champaran and help them, and he was willing if Gandhi agreed. But Gandhi was grimly opposed. He said, "You think that in this equal fight, it would be helpful if we have an Englishman on our side. This shows the weakness of our heart. This cause is just. You must rely upon yourself to win the battle. You should not seek a prop in Mr. Andrews because he happens to be an Englishman." So he warns that about the farewell, before the farewell of Charles Free and he wants to go to a field island on a cliff. He wanted to go to the place and help those poor people, but Gandhi said no. If you will be the Britishman, you can go. Otherwise, you will be Englishman, you can go. He had read our minds correctly, I can comment. And we had no reply. Gandhi, in this way, taught us a lesson of self reliance. We need to rely on ourselves. If you are helping, if somebody in his entire life is helping to others, then how he can grow? Others can grow. Let them grow. We can assist them, but they should be self-reliant. They should build their own temperament, self-reliance temperament, and grow over there. Self-reliance, Indians' independence, and faith to sharecroppers all bound together. So he was giving the importance about the self-empowerment. He was giving the importance to the self-reliance that India wants. What India wants, the self-reliance, self-belief. Self-belief was not there. That has been mentioned by N.T. Gandhi in Champaran Satyagraha. So this is all about Indigo, wonderful chapter. And while you are reading the chapter, you can go to the past years of Gandhiji. You should believe the Gandhi philosophy. You should believe the Gandhi philosophy, what Gandhi wants to say. So read the chapter properly, and I'm giving the explanation line by line, so you can realize that what has happened, and so many questions will be coming related to Gandhi's demonstration. What was the Gandhi's demonstration? How he has started the demonstration? What was the motive after the battle was won, the war was won, and what has been done by Gandhiji for the Champaran peasants, not only the Champaran peasants, the people of the Champaran, what was the motive? So that has been described. I explained with, uh, uh, with the chapters. So please go through the chapter, read it properly. If you don't read, just I'm explaining, but you should read it properly, not once, but many times you should read properly. And after reading properly, you will get the idea. If you want to get the idea, you try to read it properly. So today I'm concluding the class. I will be available in the next time with the next chapter. So I hope my students, they will be in good shape. They should be in good shape, and take care about yourself. And thank you everyone. Please come in our next class.